Eddie. Ciao, Caterina, piacere. There's like he's gonna like do it. Maybe so. Yeah, they're like very, but it's okay because we're sitting to each other. I think so, and there's going to be a translation, I guess. Grüezi. Ja, sie auch
Ich glaube, er geht rein. Die Mikro dort. Es gibt die Hand gewährt, aber sie verzeiht sich nicht. Ja, مسافر ja.
Aber it's funny.
So, welcome. We start with the press conference of Semret, playing tonight on the Piazza Grande. We are very happy to have here with us the delegation, starting from the actresses, Manuela Biedermann, Ermela Tecleab, and the beautiful protagonist, Lula Mebratu, and the director, Caterina Mona.
Hi.
And I'm just adding that it's a big delegation. So in the first row, we also have another actor, Fanuel Mengstab, the producer, Michela Pini for Cinedoche, Pascal Treschlin for Cinework, and Alessandro Marcionni for RSI. I will start with the first round of questions, then of course I'm happy to open the floor to the question of the press. And my first question is for you, Caterina. Yeah. First of all, congratulations for the film. I understand that the film comes after years of your research and personal encounters, and that you sort of fictionalized and that ended up in the film. Can you tell us a bit more about this process and the genesis of the film?
Well, actually, it started out that I had an idea in my head before doing research, obviously, and I had kind of like this woman in my head, which is Semret now, which obviously changed a lot during the years then, but I wanted to explore this the situation of a mother who has a child who has been born out of rape, and how is it possible to maybe love this child or not? I mean, what does it do with a mother if you have a child which is born out of such a violence? And so that was like the starting point of my story, and I then met women who have not exactly that story, but who have similar stories, and who really helped me then build the whole character of Semret and the story around, obviously. So it really came out of more like an idea I really had, and I wanted to explore this possibility maybe to what goes on in how would that relationship be between this mother and daughter, and then. And then for a film, you kind of like have to choose which moment in life you will portray. And for me, it was the importance was like to have like a first step into a direction of a possible healing between the two, and to bring them into a healthier relationship, which is obviously very, very close relationship they have, but which has traits that are not very healthy, this symbiotic relationship where the mother-daughter relationship is so kind of like exchanged in moments. So I think, and that's when I decided to make Jo be a teenager, because it's that moment where a girl will probably will start to have to find her own identity, and until that, she would probably not have questioned her mother, and it's at that moment where she starts questioning this relationship. And so, yes, then, yeah, well, you have seen the film, so that was like the starting point, kind of like of how I found Semret and Jo. I think, I mean, they're both very important in the film, obviously.
And since we have your actresses with you here, can you tell us a bit more how you chose your actresses and how you work with them on set?
Yes, so I found Lula in London. It's not that easy. I mean, I chose to make a film about a woman from Eritrea who lives in Switzerland, and there are not very many actresses from Eritrea in the world, so I did look really all over the world for her. So and I'm really, really happy to have found her in London. And I mean, she read the script. We talked. I went to London. We met in London. We did some. Yes, we workshopped some scenes in like my little Airbnb somewhere. So, but it was quite quickly. It was clear that she was really gonna be a very, very good Semret. And with Hermela, yes, I kind of like. I don't remember. How did I find? How did you come to the casting? How did you find out about the casting? I don't remember.
Yes.
Actually. Yes, in Zurich there's offene Jugendarbeit. It's like a youth, it's a program where they have like low places where the kids can go and after school and stuff. And yes, exactly. And through Oya, I spread the word that I was looking for a young Eritrean girl. I spread the word into schools. And I must say it was a difficult moment because it was full COVID, so all these places were closed. So ideally, I would have gone to these places in the neighborhoods where I know most Eritrean people would live, or to schools, but I couldn't. So, but I had the luck to really right away, like in Oya or in the schools, to find people who were like, yes, we will try to help you and contact young possible actresses. And so she came. Yeah, you sent the video, which was already brilliant. And then she came to a casting, and we had actually two girls. I mean, Teresa was really. I liked her as well very much. She's a friend of yours.
Yes.
No? So but. That was also funny because, yeah, she was really friends with this other girl, and I mean, you're still friends, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, that's great. So, and in the end, it was just really, Hermela really convinced me. She was just really how I had imagined Joe while writing. So, and then we actually had them together in Zurich. And we did like, I don't know, do you remember, Miki? We were there and like 2 minutes, I was like, okay, this is just perfect, the two together, because I mean, that has to then work. I mean, you can choose the actors and then they have to work together, obviously. And Manuela, I mean, I saw her in Wilder, which I really, really loved, her character in Wilder, and I thought, oh, she would just be the perfect Doris. So actually, I asked her, and she came to my place, and we talked like for 2 hours about other stuff. And
but I did the e-casting.
yeah. Oh, that was so nice. You wore this blue thing and your Crocs. Yes. Like, yes, that was so good. Exactly. Yes, that was a really, really fun, a really great e-casting. That's true. Yes. Yeah. So that's how I found them. Yes.
Yeah, and I shared this question also with the actresses. I mean, how was working on the film set? How, did you build your relationship among you? I mean, I think that from the film you can really see that there's really, a connection between you two. I mean, you three and all the actors, of course.
What Katarina failed to mention is before me and Hermela were put in a workshop, she said, she put us in a room, she said, she said, Hermela, Lula, Hermela. Go make friends. It was in this massive, like, communal area where there was no one and a lot of tables and chairs, and it was we sat there super, like, very formal. I think he was super nervous initially, and I was like, okay, she has to feel my friend first for her to feel like my daughter. So then, yeah, we just connected on like cultural stuff because everything she's going through, like as a Habesha, first generation, young teenager then, was everything I would have went through, be it, I don't know, arguments with your parents about your hair or just basic stuff. So when we connected on that level and we could just be chill, then going into the workshop was really a safe space where we could play and just explore what those sensibilities in the scenes were, whether it was the uncomfortable moments or just like the super like magical, just intimate moments, And so yeah, like from the beginning I was like, nah, this stupid. Because I remember you told me about that other girl, but I always remember when you said, go be friends.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a bit inexperienced, but it did work out.
No, it did. I mean, I think your unconventional approach definitely sat well with me. Like, it just kind of, we met each other where we were, and then it was just a case of let's just hold hands and figure it out. And because of that, everyone was safe and every process was fun. Yeah. So that's what it was for me.
I don't know if you have anything to add, Manuela and Hermela.
Sorry, what did you say?
Do you have anything to add to what
Doe
Lula
ik
said
zelf,
and
Bunny?
about your experience on the film set?
What language do you want to speak in?
Can I speak in Germany? Or is that okay?
Do we have translators or? No.
I can translate.
Yeah, or
Okay, we can. Yeah, we can be
Okay.
flexible.
I can translate.
Okay.
Yes. Sag's auf Deutsch.
Okay, also am Anfang hatte ich wirklich mega Angst gehabt, weil du hast mir ein Bild von Lula gezeigt und du hast gesagt, eigentlich wäre es jemand anders gewesen und jetzt haben wir aber Lula. Und nachher habe ich gesehen, dass sie auf Google drauf war und ich habe wirklich am Anfang Angst bekommen. Ich bin mega nervös gewesen. Ich so, oh nein, wir spielen ja Mutter, Tochter, was wenn mir nicht so passt, wenn es einfach nicht geht. Und dann bin ich ja zu dir heimgekommen und du bist dann einfach gegangen und ich bin dann allein mit Lula gewesen, und ich habe nicht gewusst, wie ich anfangen soll, dass sie mich dann halt von Anfang an nicht gerne hat und so. Aber nein, sie hat Gespräche angefangen, sie hat angefangen zu erzählen und dann hat es einfach Klick gemacht und wir haben es einfach verstanden und ja, das hat wirklich geklappt.
Okay, I'll translate it. I'll do a short thing. So she was just at the beginning really, really worried, and I'd shown her, oh look, this is going to be your mom, and she was like, okay, but so, what if I don't, we don't get along well and everything? And then actually, yeah, she repeated that I left them alone in the room. So yeah, well, I'm sorry, but then she said that Lula right away started making jokes and started speaking about things she could relate to, and it clicked really quickly, and then it was obvious that it would gonna work, and she felt comfortable. So.
If you have any question from the press, just raise your hand. I'm happy to give you a mic. Otherwise, okay, we have a question over there.
Buongiorno e complimenti per il film. Io parlo in italiano, lo capisce? Bene, grazie. Allora, la domanda è proprio per la regista. È un film estremamente delicato e nello stesso tempo duro, perché parla di argomenti che sono complicati e perché parla di una donna che è stata violata e che ha ricostruito la sua vita. Come è stata, diciamo, la gestazione del suo lavoro in scena? Quando le ha portate e ha visto davanti che si realizzava questa storia?
Non ho capito quando le ho portate, quando come realizzato in scena, no? Non ho capito. Sul set, ok.
We translated briefly in English.
Okay.
The question is, the film is very delicate and tough. At the same time, it tackles complex questions. We talk about a raped woman, so the question is for the director, I guess. So how did you work around such complicated and complex topics?
Well, obviously, I mean, it was a very sensitive topic, and it was difficult. But I mean, I wrote the script, so the people who were coming on set had read it, and they really knew about it. And I think most of them also said that it was written in a way that they could kind of like understand what was happening in the character. So I think that was probably already like in the writing process that I really came to something that would make sense also while reading already. So that really helps, which is, I mean, it sounds obvious, but it's not that obvious sometimes, I think. So that would help. And I mean, with Lula, we worked on really very much on her body, actually, on her weight, on her repressed feelings, and we had this little image. I'm going to tell you now. It's a bit of a secret, but But I mean, it's our thing. But we developed this thing that she actually has a little dragon that lives in her belly, and that sleeps kind of there, and that there are moments when it kind of like comes up more, and then she has to push it down again. So that was like this great image we found together with this acting coach, Barbara Fisher, and it stayed with us all the time. And the times when we were shooting, I could just go there and say a bit more of the dragon, a bit less of the dragon. And people on set were like, what the fuck is she talking about? I mean, this woman is crazy. But then, that was just our little thing. And these are really things that extremely helped, I think, to have this. It's not so direct, but it really helped to have this body thing when you can really speak about it's more here, it's more weight in the feet, and a disconnection between the head and the belly, for instance. What did we have?
Especially because the story wasn't about the rape itself, right? But it's something that happened to her that has impacted her life for a very long time. And so, like, how does a person change? Like, who are you after the things that have happened to you? Do you walk differently? Do you talk differently? Do you breathe differently? At different situations, when things trigger you, are you even aware that you're triggered? So all these nuances are unsaid, and it's all in the physicality of things. And so, like, even whilst it was our, like, private language that nobody understood except us, I mean, we all inhibit that kind of character. There's multiple little yous inside of you, and that different things surface depending on the circumstance. That's fair to say, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so it was about just, Semret was very nuanced in that. And so I think that's why I love the script, because it wasn't overtly, she's a product of this thing, and now it's not one layer, okay, the rape happened. The reason the rape happened, the byproduct is a beautiful daughter. So much time has passed. Nobody knows. She's never, there's so many layers of that, that's where the story is, as opposed to the thing that happened to her. It's about her survival and who she had to become to raise a beautiful, capable, evolving young lady. So, yeah.
Yes, and also to be this very caring midwife, that can soothe babies. And I mean, she found these things where she can still really love. So that was really important to me, to still, even if those things had happened to her, to still have her be a loving and caring person. Yes.
Any other question? Otherwise, I take the chance to ask a question to the producers, since they are here in the first row. One thing among the many that I like about this film is that it's really, I would call it a female enterprise. It's a first feature by a woman director with a beautiful cast of women, produced by a woman as well. And I'd like to know your, a comment on this, and what do you think is the space today for female filmmaking in Swiss cinema?
Well, Caterina and we have met years ago, and we worked already together on her short film, that Percy, that was also in Locarno. And I mean, since then we have been working together. We became also very good friends, and not only working colleagues. And of course, the film talks about a tough topic, but this was for me clear that Caterina could make it, because what she does special is she really talks about things that she knows, and if she doesn't know, she really does a lot of research. So I mean, one big process of the film was researching. She wouldn't, I mean, because this film it's come si dice, preso da tante storie vere.
It's inspired by many.
Yeah, by many things like this. And so, well, the process was quite long, but it needed, because she was researching a lot. And we have working together on all the steps from the very right beginning. We share opinions. Not always have the same opinion, but most of the time we do. And then later on came Pascal Trexlin on board. We have been working together on other movies, and he was distributing other movies that I produced. And this time, let's say, let's work closer. And so we became also co-producer. I think that in Switzerland, compared to other countries, women are lucky. They have the possibilities, to work, to show their voice. And I think it's very important they do it, because we have to be also the example for the rest of the world, because we are lucky in Switzerland compared to other countries. And then, a man came on board, because we are very open.
I just can add that I think this story can only be told by a woman. This is obvious, and I think also if you look to Swiss cinema and female directors, we really have some huge stars like Ursula Mayer or Lisa Brühlmann, and I think Katharina Mona could follow their steps, because if you look at the film, this sensitivity she has towards the topic, toward the destiny of this very difficult story of Semret, I think it was really, I was really surprised by the quality of the script when I read the first version of the script, and also when I discovered then later the rough cut, that it was such a sensitive way of directing and telling this story.
Sorry, the emotion. I forgot another man that was from the right beginning on board. That was Alessandro. That you read the project quite at the beginning when it was still a treatment, and he was on board from the very right beginning, believing in Caterina. He was also producing. Heresy produced also her short film, and thank you, Alessandro.
And I have to say, I work now for several years in the film industry, and I didn't work a lot with women. Really not for short films sometimes, but for cinema, it's really rare, and I really appreciate a lot to work with Katharina and also with Miki as a producer. It was just a good feeling, just be okay. It's tranquilo, and you know what you're talking about. You know, you don't have stress. Or what does it say? I don't understand him. You just understand each other, I think, better.
So yeah, they definitely set the standard of like what I expect to see in the industry moving forward. Might be a harsh reality, but
We had also a lot of women in the rest of the crew.
yeah, it was a very female heavy,
And I mean-
even the men that were in the
Yeah.
in the company, it was just always
I mean,
the
I
same
had
space.
really a fantastic team, and Marina is here, makeup artist, just fantastic. And I mean, we had, I think, 60% women, and at least, and I think even I remember Lisa Brühlmann actually, who said that after they asked her how many women. She said 60%, and they said, "Oh, did you kind of really look for to achieve that?" And she was like, "No, I did not." And me neither. And that's the point, actually. I mean, if I really choose the best, I end up having 60% women. I mean, it's not against the men, but I mean, there are many women that are really good, and also maybe, in positions where you wouldn't expect them, like our what is it called, gaffer, which is a very male, is a woman. And I mean, I think it's, if you go with what you want and what you're looking for me, it was kind of like it just came naturally, and it was, I think you can also ask the man on the set. I think it was a really good set and really comfortable working there. So that's very important to me. I think we should, I don't believe in the mean directors stuff. So
As a result, in all fairness, actually, I didn't notice specifically our gender. My gender, I didn't notice it wasn't significant that, Katerina's a woman and Gabriel is a man, because it just, the symbiotic nature of the whole space was just, everyone had a purpose, and it was just take care of the story, and it was that essence, really mothering, nurturing set. So, yeah.
I think we have time for one last question, if any. Otherwise, we have a question there.
E ritorno, dunque, uno dei problemi che forse poteva nascere era quello di dare a questa donna una figura quasi frigida, nel senso, dopo quella violenza che ha subito, che ci fosse questo rifiuto. E penso che anche nel momento più tragico del rapporto con il suo uomo, in realtà penso che lei sia stata brava a tenere la misura, e vorrei sapere appunto se sapeva che si correva questo rischio.
So the question is, I think that there might have been a risk, like depicting this woman as too cold after all the violence that she's been through, but this doesn't happen because the actress really act with great measure. And the question, I think, is for the director, maybe also for the actress. How did you achieve that? And if you were aware that you could run such risks.
Yes, and he asked specifically about the scene with Yamane, with the kissing scene. I mean, which is like would have been yes, if you would have been too cool. I mean, somehow. And yes, it was the first scene we shot with Teddy. So he came on set the evening. He came the evening before, and we met in the space, and we had time to rehearse the scene a bit. And so we kind of like, and I mean, there was a discussion about would an Eritrean man go into a house of a woman and then kiss her, and that was a bit of a discussion we had. But we had that previously already. I don't remember when it was. Yeah, the other time we rehearsed. Yeah, and but then it became quite quickly became clear that it would have to kind of like happen, that he would start kissing her, and I think it was really in this. I think the dancing obviously helped. I think dance and music helps. And I mean, I chose a very, very cheesy song. I mean, so, and okay, I'll tell the story of the song afterwards because it's a beautiful story, but yeah. And actually, so I think through the dancing, even then on the set, and we shot it as a one shot, and then we cut it, so it was always a one shot, no? So we did the Tuo fa l'americano, she comes out, they dance, and then the music changes, and then it was really a one shot and one take. Till the kiss and then the throwing away. So that could always like take this thing where they could really go into, and the dancing and the music I really think really helped. Yeah, I don't think it was that much of my skills. It was more that the music really gave them, helped them and gave them the rhythm and yes.
I don't think you've given yourself enough credit actually, because no, in truth, in terms of like how we scheduled the shoots, yeah. We spent a lot, like the earlier shots were just the ones back with me, like struggling to sleep, or those like really where it sets the seed of like what her trauma is internally, right? And then her daughter's, those intimate scenes were the earlier shots. And then I did the scene with Teddy. And so the romantic, the dinner, whatever, that helped to give the escapism of it all. And I could lose myself in that moment. But it's literally like as soon as I found myself against the wall, well, Semret found herself against the wall and he kissed her, everything flashed back. So everything I'd been doing before then, it just took me like that split second of whatever, like escapism was a distant memory from that one kiss. And I think, so that's what I mean by, I don't, like, whilst it might not have been part of the thought process in thinking about it, because we had that first, it was easy to just go
That's
there.
true. That's true. You had gone into that whole thing with the nights and absolutely the nightmares and everything, obviously. Yeah. So that was really present. And then, yeah, obviously. So I'll just tell quickly the Aki story, because I was in, I went to Eritrea 3 years ago for 10 days just to visit the country, because I felt like, even though it doesn't play in Eritrea, I think it's important to have been there. And I went as a tourist because, I mean, it's a country where you don't really want to, I mean, if they would have known that I was making this film, I would have probably maybe not even have gotten a visa, I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, and maybe, you know, whatever. So, and at some point I was in Asmara, which is a really, really beautiful city, and which has this fascist architecture, this Italian, and it looks like and feels like it's like Italy in the 50s a bit sometimes, and it's very beautiful. And they have these beautiful cinemas. And there's this cinema, the Excelsior, I think, quite in the center of the city. And we went up there to have a coffee, and we went in, and then actually we were sitting outside, and I went in to have a look at it because I just wanted to see the cinema and the architecture. And then I hear this song, and I filmed it, actually. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, and they were playing Aki, this song that I chose for this scene. And I was like, okay, this is so weird. And I mean, it wasn't the only time that I got in a place and there was Italian music playing, but that was so, yeah, this super cheesy song in this room and this old cinema where they now screen Champions League games and stuff like that, but they still have this old, nice Italian coffee machine, and the coffee is great. So, yeah, well, so that was then, and that was like, okay, I have to put this song in my film, because I really... Yes, and then obviously the text is perfect, you know, Aki parlerò quando sarai. So it just kind of like matched perfectly, so yeah.
I'm afraid that our time is over.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
I like speaking.
It was fine, right on time. Thank you very much, Caterina, and the actresses and the producers, and good luck for tonight on the piazza.
Thank you very much. Thank you.